I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Reverend Russell Gear. I am your assistant minister here in our beautiful community, and I'm glad to be here with you today. And can we give some more love to our fabulous band for waking us up with some music? And welcome to our live stream viewers as well, wherever you are watching us from. We are so grateful to have you here. If you have any questions about what goes on here at our center, we have a website, CSLSR.org, where you can go and you can find quite literally everything that's going on here. And the best place to go to find that out is there's a photo on our front page of an old-fashioned typewriter. And behind that link is our monthly bulletin that we keep up to date anytime something new gets added to the goings-on at our center. So take a look at that. Use that as a resource because there's quite a lot that happens here outside of our Sunday service that you can get plugged into. And one of those things you can get plugged into is our youth and family program. And that is for your newborns, your toddlers, your elementary or middle schoolers, your teenagers. And if you have any questions about our youth and family program, you can talk to Jennifer Caldwell if you're here in the sanctuary. She'll talk to you after service about everything in youth and family. You can also send her an email to youth@cslsr.org and she will answer all of your questions. We also have many spiritual education offerings here at our center, and that's because spiritual education is one of the pillars of our teaching the science of mind. And we have an education catalog to help you out to find out what class, workshop, or book study is for you. And you can find a copy of that both on our website as well as at our info desk on your way out. We've got tons of classes coming up, so I know that there's something there for you. Now, I invite you to join me in speaking aloud our vision and our mission statement together. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And part of our global vision states that we envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. And we follow this vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. Would you please read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. If you are a first-time visitor, would you please stand as you're able or raise your hand, and we would love to bring you a flower and a packet of information about our center as a token of our gratitude for you being here with us today. And if you happen to be watching us online for the first time, please let us know in the chat. We are so grateful to have you here. Now, I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you are so very welcome here. Now I invite you to sit back and relax as we move into our time of short contemplation and prayer.
Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God, for one good day. Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, I am free. So many gifts upon my table, loving kindnesses to me. Living Spirit, I am grateful. Loving Spirit, for the way, for this rich, abundant living every single day. And I give thanks for the knowing. I give thanks for the way your love is overflowing every time I pray. And I thank you, God. Oh, I thank you, God, for one good day.
Breathing in to this oneness, this wholeness, this divine source that is ever present in the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, and all the parts in between. It is this very source that breathes the very breath of my breath and beats my heart. It is in and through and all around me, ever guiding and sustaining. And just as this is true for me, it is true for each and every one here in this sanctuary right now, and for those that are viewing online. Each is an individuated expression, a light, a spark of that divine source. And so I accept for today's service that our hearts and our minds are open to that imperfect practice that we may be experiencing, that we may be a part of, that we are whole and perfect just the way that we are in those imperfect moments. I give great thanks. I celebrate and bless the musicians, the service, the prayers, the people, and the youth that all are a part of this service, as well as the volunteers. I bless this and I celebrate these gifts of the divine, releasing my word into that infinite knowing that all is well, all is done, and so it is. Good morning. My name is Lorena Fisher. I'm a licensed prayer practitioner with you today. Won't you please join me in today's affirmation? I embrace imperfection, knowing it is the best part of life, and so it is.
Man, it hurts sometimes to live this life. Some days I'd rather run and hide. Maybe then the pain would hide as well. Maybe then I could protect myself. But who's gonna win? Is that really living? Oh, I wish wish I didn't know that the answer is no, nobody would win. 'Cause I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. Life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart again. Man, it hurts sometimes when I've done wrong. Some days I'd rather just move on. Maybe then I wouldn't have to cry. Maybe then I could protect my pride. But who's gonna win? Is that really living? Oh, I wish I didn't know that the answer is no, nobody would win. 'Cause I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. Life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart. I could close my eyes and pretend I don't see. I could close my mind and pretend that I'm free. But my soul knows the truth. That life means stepping back in. I'm gonna open my heart again.
Oh, thank you very much for that beautiful introduction for our Sunday and opening our heart. Good morning. Hi, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Edward, and I've got some show and tell items with me today because today is an auspicious day. At the second service, we're going to have a dignitary, an official from Home Office attending the service, Dr. C.C. Coltrane, and it's a big deal, because she is the director of the School of Leadership and also the president of the Holmes Institute. That is the body that trains and licenses ministers. It's a big deal that she's coming here. And she's coming here because at 1 p.m., our beautiful assistant minister, Reverend Russ Laguerre, is going to be ordained. Yes. Now, it's such a big deal that we wear our robes. You know, we never get formal. So when we pull out the robes, you know it's important. Something's happening. We don't do that usually. And he will receive his ordination stole, which is an outer symbol of an inner commitment that he's making to ministry for life. And there's a certificate and there's a whole thing. And there's a reception afterwards. So you're invited to come and witness as he makes his personal vows to his ministry at 1 p.m. And just as if that wasn't enough, it was his birthday yesterday. Yeah. And Stephen Hand's birthday the day before, and Anne-Marie Cheney's just recently, and Alan Yeager's tomorrow, and Jeff Basham. We are surrounded by Cancerians. I don't know, it's a hostile takeover. I don't know. You got to watch out for those Cancerians, don't you? Because you need more of them. Anybody else have a birthday coming up soon? Stephen Han, yes. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. All right, so today we are going further into this month's topic about perfectionism, and talking about how striving for flawlessness may not be the best goal for us on the spiritual journey. Instead, we are trying on this idea where we think of perfection more like wholeness, just like when we say about a meal or about a trip somewhere or a vacation or a date, we say it was just perfect. We meant that it had all the elements in it that made it really good for us. It doesn't mean there was absolutely nothing wrong or that there couldn't be room for improvements, sure, and yet it was just perfect. You see, it's a feeling. At the end of every service, we say, I accept life just the way that it is and just the way that it is not. And in that phrase is the acceptance that embodies this idea of perfection when we're thinking of wholeness, the wholeness of all that is. It's not that there aren't any complications in life, have you noticed? It's not that there aren't any disappointments or tragedies or hardships. We just understand that they're a part of the wholeness, and we're not going to let those things hold us back disproportionately. Now, from our spiritual perspective in Science of Mind, we say that there is a oneness, and this oneness embraces everything, and it includes everything in this one glorious system that we call wholeness. And we're about the business of learning to apply that idea to ourselves. Can I have that attitude of mind about me? Can I embrace myself just the way that I am and just the way that I am not? Oh, there is such freedom and relief that comes every time I get that idea a little bit more. Every time I accept myself just a little bit more. While at the same time, I know, as you know, that there is always room for growth. There's always room for change. So today I want to talk about 3 ideas we can practice as we explore this idea. Number 1, embrace imperfection. It's a great starting point for freedom. Number 2, consider stepping out of your comfort zone now and then, because you will grow. And number 3, explore your vulnerability, because it's the pathway to being real and authentic. So let's dive right into it with embracing imperfection. As a young adult, I was obsessed with fitting in. And it made me quite miserable because I never could fit in. And I didn't realize at the time how many other people were struggling with that silently. See, I didn't have the interests that my peers in my age group that they had, so I never knew the right things to talk about or be interested in. And I didn't have the right clothing because I came from a very poor family. So I started acting as if none of that mattered to me. That's what I did. As if I didn't care. As if I didn't need any of it. But I did. I did need it. And I longed for it. And I felt tense most of the time trying to keep this facade of not needing it. Because inside I was experiencing myself as imperfect and lacking. When I discovered the teachings of the Center for Spiritual Living, I learned about the power of changing my mind. And so I started to experiment with that. I started to experiment with changing my mind about what I cared about. And the first thing I had to do was change my attitude from acting like I didn't care at all to actually caring about what was good for me to care about. Because I realized I was caring about, for example, the opinions of people who already didn't like me. It was futile. So I started to pay attention to and care about people who were kind. Nice people. What a relief. Because I was giving less and less energy to being something that I wasn't and actually couldn't become, and just starting to accept being imperfectly me. Oh, that freed up so much energy. And I discovered something. I was late to discover this. Maybe this is a no-brainer for you. Maybe it's obvious. Here it is. Some people like you and others don't. And so it is. Sometimes you're good at something that others aren't good at. Some people have certain talents that I never will have, ever. And I have certain skills that other people don't. And so it goes. It's just the way that it is. And it's just the way that it is not. Nevertheless, we can still grow and we can still create wherever we are planted with whatever we have got. Let me tell you the story of Richard Branson, who turned his imperfections into strengths by embracing his vulnerabilities and growing because of them. You see, I didn't know that he had quite severe dyslexia that affected his ability to read and function in the world of writing and spelling. And when he was in school, he struggled, like so many people do, to keep up with his classmates because the traditional schooling method didn't work for him, and he often felt lost and disconnected. And by the age of 15, he decided to drop out of school. And in an interview, he said, on one of my last days at school, the headmaster said I would either end up in prison or become a millionaire. And he goes on to say, and that was quite a startling prediction, but in some respects he was quite right in both accounts. Because he did spend a life-changing night in prison as a young man when he did something he shouldn't have done. And he also went on to found the Virgin brand, and he grew it and grew into a multimillionaire. And instead of trying to fix himself or to fit in or to hide his challenge, he put his dyslexia on the table for all to see, and he worked around it. So he hired people to read to him what he couldn't read. Everything, from the financials to the copy for advertising. An interesting point. When somebody would read to him Virgin's marketing material, he would only keep that copy that he could understand quickly and easily. And so the result was that ended up as a strength and a benefit because they only kept material that was sharp and clear and memorable. It turns out his problem with reading became a tremendous gift. Now, how can we personalize that? How can a person practice accepting their so-called imperfections or their perceived weaknesses? Well, I'll tell you one of the ways that I try to do it. I try to identify a weakness that I think I have or a fault that I believe I have, and I ask myself, how is this also at the same time a strength? How could it be? For example, I don't mind confessing to you that I can get paralyzed by shyness. So I've been asking myself, how is this also a strength? Well, it's turned me into a really good listener, an observer. I don't miss a thing. I'm paying attention. And it's also made it possible for me to connect with other timid people. And frankly, it makes me quite quirky and weird, which I find to be quite lovely. But I can get really comfortable in that quirky quietness and stay there. Which leads me to point number 2 today. Step out of your comfort zone now and then. You will grow. It is a pathway to growth and authenticity. Because I love my comfort zone. I love the safety of it, and to be honest, I stay in my comfort zone exactly to avoid the discomfort of growth and connection. See, I have been all my life a wait and see kind of person. You jump in first, and tell me how the water was. Then I'll think about it, and I'll get back to you. Now, my partner, oh my word, he is jump in now and then afterwards decide if you liked it. So I'm watching this and I'm learning. I'm learning to jump. And I'm seeing the value of stepping right up to the unfamiliar. And taking risks and saying yes to new experiences. Let me tell you the story about Shonda Rhimes, a woman who transformed her life by stepping out of her comfort zone to embrace things that she typically avoided. Here's how it happened. She was having a conversation with her oldest sister, who noticed and remarked to her, "Shonda, you never say yes to a thing, anything." And this simple statement really had an impact on her. It struck a chord, and she realized it was true. She had fallen into a routine of go to work and come home. Repeat. She never accepted invitations. She never tried new things, and her life had become kind of small and tight and predictable. And so, determined to do something about it and change, she embarked on what she called a year of yes. She committed to saying yes to everything. Things that scared her, yes. Things that made her nervous, yes. Things that took her out of her comfort zone, yes. Obviously nothing illegal or dangerous. She didn't say yes to that. So if she was uncomfortable, as she was, with public speaking, she would say yes and accept if she was invited. She was uncomfortable in social settings, she said yes to parties. She realized she could pay more attention to her family and children, so she said yes to more time with them. She started to notice she could pay more attention to her health. She started saying yes to self-care. She started saying yes to time doing creative things that she typically didn't make time for. But most importantly, she started saying yes to herself, to doing what made her feel fulfilled. And all of this yesing led her to live authentically, just as herself. Now, how do we personalize that? Well, I'm thinking about how we might say more yeses in life. Sometimes we say in Science of Mind, our teaching, that the universe only says yes. I'm thinking about that. And I think the first step is to first begin to notice all the ways I say no. That's a good place to start. And then to ask gently, is there some room here for more yeses? And in my case, and maybe this is true for you, it means quitting some habits, some old cherished habits. The habit of waiting till it's safe. The habit of freezing and playing dead. The habit of over-preparing and over-planning. The habit of suspicion, or whatever it is that makes saying no so easy. The actress Rachel Brosnahan recently in an interview told about her pivotal role in the movie, the series, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, right? She talked about that and how the importance of breaking personal barriers really was brought to her attention. Here's what she said in the interview. What I had to do to play this part is something I never thought I could, namely comedy. I'd been told I wasn't funny, and that was just true. This job has been immensely intimidating, especially in that department. But I have learned that it's so important not to tell yourself you can't do things. Well, I got to say that again. It's so important for me not to tell myself I can't do things. And you. And it's also important not to crumble when somebody else tells you you can't do things. I mean, they may be right. They may be wrong. And you may have to live anyway and thrive anyway with what you've got, imperfectly you. Now, Rachel Brosnahan's experience is a powerful reminder of the importance of paying attention to what we plant in our minds, especially in the form of what we let in from other people's assessment and what we say to us in the form of our self-talk. Science of Mind teaches us that what we say to ourselves and what we let into ourselves is received by our deeper mind and integrated and normalized until it becomes the filter through which we deal with the world around us. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important to talk to ourselves just in the way we might imagine that the creative power of the universe talks to life, to its creation. For example, imagine it saying, "You are unique. You are created on purpose. You have a spirit of beauty within you. You can connect. You can choose. You can decide. You can think. You can love. You can express. You really get into it." And even borrow phrases from some of the great metaphysical teachers. I am in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. I have a wonderful joy in a wonderful way, and this wonderful joy is here to stay. My mind is the center of creativity within the mind that creates all. Everything I do, say, and think is guided by divine wisdom and inspired by its intelligence. And to keep on saying these things, even when I'm feeling nervous, shy, vulnerable. Which brings me to the third practice today. Embrace your vulnerability, because it's the pathway to growth and to true authenticity. See, to me, being vulnerable means many things, including being yourself, being authentic, which means to me not trying to be something else that I am. And I've noticed that when I am more of myself, not only does it kind of creates the space around me for people to be more of themselves. It's like we give each other permission through our realness. But there's something else. It allows other people to see me, to really see me just as the way I am and just the way that I am not. I want my partner to see me a certain way, right? You know what I'm talking about? I want him to see me as strong, and brave, and courageous. And yet, as we get to know each other, we learn about those times in our lives when we haven't been strong, we haven't been courageous, we haven't been perfect. Just the other day, I was telling him about how hard it was to raise my special needs brother, and how I still feel immense sadness about not being able to do enough for him to make his passage easier. And in the sharing of it, it brought me to tears unexpectedly. And the tears brought my partner and I closer to each other, and it opened the gateway for him to share with me his vulnerability of moments in his life where he hadn't been brave and hadn't made decisions that he wanted to. I want to share with you a greeting card. Now, this is the front of a greeting card by Emily McDowell. Now, Emily is the creator of Emily McDowell and Friends. It's a company, a card company, known for its empathetic and often humorous greeting cards. See, she survived cancer, and she used her experience, her vulnerable experience of what she needed, what she didn't get, what she wanted to get, to create cards that express on them what people with serious illnesses might actually want to hear, in addition to thoughts and prayers, in addition to get well soon. So imagine what the card looks like. It's all just words on the front in a jumble of colors, large and imperfect, filling up the whole page. It's a whole bunch of words. It's counterintuitive, right? Here's what one of the cards says. Just so you know, I'm totally on board for driving you to treatment, cleaning your place, helping pick out flattering wigs, and coming up with badass visualization exercises. And if you twist my arm, I guess I'd also be cool with lying on the couch and watching trashy TV together. I know it's a service, but I'm willing to make it for you because I love you. Isn't that something? Recently, we performed a memorial service for one of our very long-term members, Marlene Mahan, right here. And one of the family members said Marlene was not the kind of person to say, let me know how I can help you. Because she understood that when people were down, or people were suffering, or people were ill, they often don't know what they need. They can't even put that into words. So she risked imperfectly showing up with food, with help, with connections. She never waited for perfection, just authenticity. Emily McDowell's card reminds me of the power of that vulnerability of showing up even imperfectly to make authentic connection. And her business grew because people resonated with her honesty and the realness of her message, just as our lives grow with our honesty and our kindness and our realness and our being just the way that we are and just the way that we are not. Now, how do we apply that and personalize that with our teaching? Well, for example, we might think of saying to ourselves, although I don't always know what to say or what to do, there is a spirit of love within me, and it does know. Although I don't always know what to say and what to do, there is a spirit of wisdom that runs through the universe, and I'm tuning into it to be guided from it. And even though from time to time I may experience being afraid and sometimes feel like I'm walking through a dark and dreary space, I remember and remind myself that there is a spirit of light within me that I have confidence in, and I retune myself to it as often as I can. So in conclusion today, I ask you to consider these three things with me. Number one, embrace your faults. as part of your wholeness and explore how they can be strengths too, just as they are. Number 2, step out of your comfort zone with me from time to time. You might have to remind yourself it's for the good of your growth. And 3rd, embrace your vulnerability. It's going to take you deeper into being authentically yourself. It's going to allow you to be seen as you truly are and just as you are not. So I invite you to breathe in with me right now. As you exhale, let us close our eyes for a moment of prayer. Although I may not know what to do, there is a spirit of love within me that knows. Although I sometimes may not always know what to say, there is a spirit of wisdom within me that guides me. Even when I am afraid sometimes, I know and remind myself that there is a spirit of light within me that I can have confidence in. From within me it speaks, you are unique. You are created on purpose. You have a spirit of beauty in you. You are able to connect and choose, decide, create, think, love, and express. And so I rest in the awareness that I am in the right place at the right time, successfully engaged in the right activity. I remember that there is within me a wonderful peace, a joy, permanently present. I remember that my mind is a center of creativity within the mind that creates all. And I affirm that everything that I do and say and think is guided by this light within, inspired by its wisdom. So I make it my business to tune into that spirit of wholeness within at the center of my being. And I let everything else be as it may. I let myself have confidence in the presence of life within me, the seat of compassion at the center of my soul, and I trust it. I invite you to breathe in again with me, and to exhale as we let these words come to its completion by saying the phrase we use to complete our prayer, and so it is. It's time for us to have our offering. I invite the ushers to stand as you prepare your gift. There's information about giving available on our website, as well as our text to give information is up there. It will be shortly. However you give, won't you please know with me that you're deeply appreciated for helping to sustain this center. I invite you to place your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection to this experience today, thinking with me of the value you are taking home with you and how in turn you are releasing that into the world through your lived example. Will you say after me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
1, 2, 3, 4. Helps to turn the guitar on. 2, 3. One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. Sing it with me. One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. Oh, and I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just wanna shout, woo! One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one light shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. Oh, and I'm shining so happy, I just want to shout. Oh, and I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy, I just want to shout. One life living as you and me, one night shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me, one night shining as you and me, one love loving as you and me, 'cause God is all there is. Oh yes, God is all there is. I said God is all there is.
Thank you again for all the gifts that you share with our community. Now, before we get into our regular announcements, my friend Chris Fritchie has a special announcement for all of us that he'd like to share.
I do. So you all heard the choir on our 70th anniversary service, yeah? That was amazing. So I want you to invite you to dream, to vision with me. What if, say, 10, 20 more folks joined our choir? Could you imagine the sounds we could make together? If you've sung in a choir, if you haven't sung in a choir, if you don't know if you could sing in a choir, if you're getting nervous thinking about it because you kind of want to try it but you're shy, I want to talk to you. I want to meet and sing with you to help you decide if you have an ear for and can sing choral parts. And now is a great time to come forward because the choir is on a little break before we begin rehearsing again for our holiday services. So you can join us as we begin rehearsing music, new music for our upcoming services. I'm happy to chat with you after service about it right here. And you can also send me an email at christopher.fritchie@cslsr.org. It's on the website to get the ball rolling. I look forward to hearing from, 10 or 20 of you.
Thank you, Chris. And if I can share something that I know about Christopher Fritchie, if it does feel like you're going outside of your comfort zone auditioning with Chris, he makes it so easy to learn something new and to step outside of that comfort zone. So I really hope that you'll take advantage of that, because I'm thinking like 30, 40, right? Right? We'll fill up the whole stage.
Only limited by the stage.
Yes. Great. All right. Well, thank you, Chris, for sharing that. So we've got a lot going on in our community. And the first thing that I want to remind you of is that every year we nominate 12 nonprofit partners, one for each month of the year. And for the year of 2025, our center is especially interested in receiving nonprofit partner nominations from you, our community, that provide opportunities for us as a community to be engaged with our larger community in Santa Rosa and beyond through our volunteering and by providing needed supplies, things that are practical, that are helpful for those who are most in need. So we are going to be collecting those nonprofit partner nominations for the next 2 weeks. The deadline for you to enter your nomination is on Sunday, August 4th. So if you've got a nonprofit that you are passionate about, that really calls to you, that feels like it is doing incredible work in the world, you can go on our website. We have a link to the form that you can fill out to tell us all about that nonprofit partner, and then we will collect them all, and you'll hear about them once our giving intention season starts around October. So I'm really grateful that we've been doing this for so many years, I can't count. I know it's been over 100 plus nonprofit partners that are all doing good work in the world that we've helped to support through our financial giving. So thank you for all that you have nominated, and we look forward to the new nominations for 2025. Sharing Our Bounty is back. And this coming Sunday, July 28th, between our 9 a.m. and our 11 a.m. service, you can bring your flowers, your fresh produce, your baked goods, and any other goodies that you would like to share with our community. And if you bring your own tote bag, you can take as much as you like. It's all free. So you don't have to bring anything to take anything. You can just come and take a whole bushel of all kinds of good stuff. So we're really grateful that that's back. That's this coming Sunday. Now I have a question for you. What does it mean to you to live your life in a wholehearted way? That's a question that I often find myself asking myself. And I'm grateful that this coming Sunday, Reverend Tara's workshop, Wholeheartedly Me, is going to explore this question. And that'll be at 1 p.m. And she says this is a workshop that is a play-filled inquiry into being all that we are. Nothing to fix, nothing to hide, perfectly imperfect. That sounds like a lot of fun. And of course, our summer education continues with Dr. Edwards' upcoming class, Your Authentic and Innate Goodness. That sounds kind of like what he was talking about today in our service. And in this 3-week class that begins on Monday, August 5th, you will have an opportunity to explore what it means to live a life guided and inspired by your authentic and innate sense of goodness. And you get to do this by creating a personal pledge of spiritual allegiance and creating your own I believe statement and creating a list of personal values. And you'll receive a free copy of Dr. Edwards' book, Ordinary Goodness, as part of this class. So we look forward to seeing you in that. And then on Thursday, August 8th, practitioner Kathy Galvin's Enneagram class begins, where you will learn about this ancient spiritual system designed to help us to discover our strengths and our areas for growth, maybe those areas where we can step outside of our comfort zone. And through that, we can deepen our relationship with ourselves and with others. And there's more. We have our new member class is happening on Tuesday, August 13th at 6 p.m., where you will learn all about what it means to be a member of our center. We'll be offering that both here in person and on Zoom. And finally, Reverend Tara Steele is sharing a 4-week book study based on Zen Buddhist teacher Koshin Paley Ellison's book, Wholehearted. You're noticing a theme here, right? Wholehearted? So this book study is going to be on Zoom, and it starts Wednesday, August 14th. Phew! It's a lot of classes, y'all. And you can sign up for all of them on our website, CSLSR.org, and we'll share a bit more about them as we get closer to their start. I'm very excited to announce that our July Spirit Walk is just around the corner. It's this Saturday, July 27th at 9 a.m., and we're going to be doing the Meadow Trail at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park. And it's a beautiful, easy trail filled with hills and tall grasses. It's quite idyllic. And I wanted to mention, too, that one of our community members, Jewel Shield, she's actually here today, you can talk to her, has offered generously to carpool because she lives in Oakmont. So if you don't want to have to pay the parking fee to get there, if you don't have a state park pass, she's happy to take a whole van load of people up there. And she has also generously offered her home for a lunch afterwards. So this really is going to be a special day. Thank you, Jewel. You're brilliant and amazing. Please be sure to RSVP today by clicking on the photo of the sneakers on our website if you would like to have more info about that carpool and the lunch that helps us to plan a little bit better. And finally, we are collecting backpacks and school supplies for our community in the coming school year. And if you have something you'd like to donate, you can leave it at our info desk. Next Sunday is our last day for you to do that. So if you're going to bring something, make sure you bring it by next Sunday. Okay, that's all that I have for today. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Reverend Russ, and thank you for being here. If there is something incomplete in you, or if you cried yourself to sleep last night, please don't go home without taking advantage of our in-person prayer or online in the Zoom room that is available on our website for one-on-one prayer. With that in mind, won't you please stand and say, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Let's close in song.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making